Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Greta. If you're new here and if you like this kind of content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. As you saw in the thumbnail, they are not easy blind buys and they were getting a lot of hype and causing a lot of disappointment. That burnt tire note will break your heart, myself included. So let me start with those two. For starters, BabyCat. Talk about like the biggest FOMO. Everybody, because you couldn't get it in the USA, the first opportunity to buy it, they're like, oh, let's get it. Anybody that had it was raving that it was the best vanilla on earth. I fell for it. So as soon as I found it for a pretty decent price, considering, I got it. And I was like, oh, no, actually, first I got the dupe from Dapper so that I could see what it was like. And a lot of times I like the Dapper a little better. He just kind of tweaks it. I might even recommend his over this if you're really kind of into it. There is this leather in here that is really sharp, almost tire-like burning tires, kind of sharp leather in here. It is not for everyone. I do like the type of vanilla in here with the saffron. I like that. It's a very dry, suede kind of texture type of vanilla. And that I can totally get on board with. But there is that burnt rubber bit that kind of comes through, and it's kind of like I hear skid marks as I'm smelling it. It just has something a little too extra in there that doesn't really do it for me. It's not one that I ever grab and enjoy wearing or feel sexy in. I mean, I'm happy to share decants because chemistry is everything, and I'm all for trying before buying for exactly this reason. The other one that was super hyped up was Rosendo Mateau No. 5. Now, I had sampled this first, gosh, a couple years ago, and I thought it was gorgeous. And then when I saw a decent price for this, I thought, okay, I'm grabbing that bottle. It was gorgeous. It was just elegant. It was everything. And then I understood the tires. I was like, oh man, I totally get that too now, which I didn't get in the beginning. And it, to me, is a lot like BabyCat. There's the saffron added in BabyCat where I get that like spicy, dry kind of thing going on additionally. But there's a lot in common to me. So if you want something that is more like the vanilla, dry saffron kind of fragrance, a nice fall, winter, early winter kind of vanilla, I have some better suggestions. And these are the ones that I personally gravitate to over those. These are the ones that make me weak in the knees, whereas those two just don't. They're kind of like a butt clencher for me. Like they just make me clench a little bit rather than really gush over them. I don't know. They're just not. And I hear that echoed, that same sentiment echoed a lot in Fragcom. So I know I'm not alone. So let me give you some of my recommendations. Let's start here because it's probably the best match. And I've only known this one for maybe 6 months, and it is by Salas, and it's Bianco Eterna. This is that without the tire mark. It is that same dry suede-like vanilla. There's like a black pepper in the BabyCat, like a black pepper kind of note with the tires. There's something smoother and just a hint on the sweeter side versus that dark side. So subtle, so subtle. But it gets rid of that dark tire that's in here, but keeps it pure to that suede-like saffron vanilla. So if that's what you're looking for, I highly recommend the Bianco Eterna, which is a huge favorite of mine. I've been waiting for, we finally got a chill in the air a couple days ago, and now the nights are really cold where I don't like the dogs to leave the door open too long. Like, you got to go, like, figure it out. Are you in or you out? Because I got to shut the door. It's cold. This is what I've been dying to wear. Very similar to that is Cupid Parfums Vivo. Now I've had the, oh, I take that back. Now I've had this one just a couple months, like 2 months maybe, and it was the wrong season for it. I think I tried it 6 months ago, but then got it like this summer. And this summer was not the time for it. So I kind of put it on the back burner and didn't do much with it until I recently turned back around to it and was like, hello, sunshine. I like you. This has something more floral added to it. So it's that same saffron vanilla dryness, but it has something like a floral facet to that. It has rose in here. And you get a hint of that rose on top of that saffron vanilla musky powdery kind of thing going on, where it has that same fuzzy kind of feel to that vanilla, that like fuzzy suede like texture to it. This is definitely the airier version of these, and they're all in that same realm, but this has that rose. It's a very airy rose added onto it, a little bit more sweet and a little bit more powdery. This is the freshest of them all, but I really like this one. Are you guys feeling like the chill in the air and looking forward to all the snuggly goodness too? I'm loving it. I'm kind of liking it. I like it like this, moderate chill in the air. I don't like freezing cold. This is really fun to me. If you definitely like it more sweet, I'm going to say go with Epico Vani Charnel. It is more about the caramel, but that caramel gets fluffed out and it opens more of this really intense caramel. But then when it dries down, you get that kitten purr of that suede-like vanilla, but on a much sweeter kind of scale compared to those. But you again have that fluffy suede-like vanilla. The opening can kind of deceive you and get you all excited for this big, intense, sweet fragrance, but it's just the opening. Then it dries down to this little kitten purr, which I really enjoy that, where it just feels like this purring on your skin, and I like that. And it's a amazing cuddle fragrance, but the opening is a very like caramelized vanilla, more like a liquid caramel vanilla. It opens very sweet and intense like that, but then settles. This was my scent yesterday, and I was so in love. I wore 2 of these yesterday. I'm so in love with this one. It's insane. I am shocked by this collection, and I know this collection made its rounds months ago, but I did get to try them while in cans and did a little bit of a double take. But then when I did get them at home here, they were kind enough to send them to me, and I got to wear them, and I was like, wow. I felt like I missed the boat on that one. Like, these are really good. And they're like $100, less than $100. I think I'm seeing them for like 80 online. And it's the Orientica luxury collection. There's a few in there that I would go with. This is the Oud Saffron, which I wore last night. I also like the, what is it, the blue, similar to Leighton a little bit, but I like it better. And the Velvet Tonka, holy cow, Velvet Tonka. But I'm going to go with this one because it has that saffron in there. This Oud Saffron, man. First off, this is an oud you don't have to worry about. This is a very friendly oud. It's sweet and creamy. This is a soft oud. There's nothing animalic here. It is one that will have your knees melting. Don't you worry. But you definitely get that Gaiac wood in here, and you get that woody influence, but it's this creamy, this fluffy, creamy vanilla, along with that saffron, giving it more like less dry, more creamy. with that intensity of the oud just kind of feeds it and gives it life versus giving it any animalic kind of tone. But the dry down on here on skin is like to die for, creamy, fluffy oud. Like, I'm telling you, this is amazing. Like, I find that base is in those three in particular that I'm in love with. The two blue and silver ones and the purple one, if that helps you. The royal blue is also amazing, and the velvet gold. Like, all three of those to die for, okay? To die for, with that creamy undertone. This creamy vanilla in there that is just, think of the base in Layton. If you've tried Layton and you know that addictive creamy base, that's the base in those three. I'm telling you, like, I roll good and under $100. Holy cow. Like, yeah, sign me up. I, uh, yeah, I was just shocked. I was really shocked. Okay, so the other one that I wore on the other arm, because I wanted to compare these two to really get to know the differences, and it's Carolina Herrera Saffron Lazuli. Now, of them that I was testing for this video, this really was the spiciest, but it has that vanilla, it has that saffron. Now, this has leather in it too, like BabyCat. However, this is so much more palatable to me than BabyCat. This one doesn't have that animalicness to it. It really gives it more of a richness to it, but I get more of the spices in here. It doesn't even list them, but it's really weird to me how it really comes out as more like spicy oriental kind of fragrance with a little bit of creaminess. There is the iris and the tonka that give it creaminess. However, the Orientica is creamier, way creamier. Yeah, the Vivo is more a little bit powdery. The Vani Charnel is more of a fluffy, sweet vanilla. And this one just has a certain spiciness to it to me, this oriental spiciness to it, far more than any of the others. But again, a lot of common denominator to BabyCat despite that. Real quick, if you like this kind of content, give it a thumbs up. Also hit the subscribe button. It tells Google that you like this kind of content and it sends you more of the content. And then kind of in between the BabyCat and the Vani Marsh, and then in between on the scale between the BabyCat and the Vani Charnel, which is pretty caramel vanilla, is Absolute Aphrodisiac. This is a vanilla again. It doesn't have any of that animalic stuff, but it does have vanilla and it does have leather, but it has this creamy vanilla to it, and it's really more of a prominent vanilla. The leather, I don't get too much. It's really not prominent here. It's not animalic whatsoever. It's just way more pleasant to me. It's a really good vanilla with that creaminess to it, like all of these have. I just think these are better options. I think they're a lot more friendly to say, and they're a little safer. They definitely don't have that tire, that burnt tire in there. Now, as much as I love Rosendo Mateau, he has other fragrances that I absolutely love, and he has the new collection that's out that's wonderful. He has a number 3 that I really love that's a more almost like aldehydic, floral, powdery kind of fragrance, more fresh and elegant, that I really enjoy, a little more like Chanel-esque kind of to it. I'm just not really enjoying number 5. And BabyCat, I mean, YSL has so many fragrances that I love. I just don't like that black tire note in either of these. And I didn't always get it, but I do get it now, and I can't unsee it. Now that I see it, I can't unsee it. So I don't really recommend these. I do recommend trying them. You can sample them if you're into that and you just feel like maybe that is your jam, sample it. But I just feel like those are all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those 6 are such great options that don't have that tire note in there. And in love with all of those. So I would recommend those over it. But leave me down below some of the other vanilla saffron or creamy vanilla and saffron fragrances that you like and prefer over these two. I want to hear your thoughts. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.